Okay, Varda, can you just say the names of your son-in-law? Like all the soldiers should be protected. And can you say their names?
Yosef David Brian ben Vardalea, Uri ben Rochelle Sarah, and Tuvel ben Meitab.
May they be protected b'toch all the Chayalim. Leah, you want to say the names of your Chayalim?
Okay. Yehuda Ruvain ben Leah, Ari Yisrael ben Leah, Matitia ben Sigalit.
May they be protected b'toch all the Chayalim. May we all be protected.
Amen. Amen.
So I want to continue with the theme that we brought up last week before we move on next week, which is the Sukkah Shalom, which is really, it's a place of protection. So it's a very poignant image. So I want to learn from two different places, to begin with Rav Morgenstern, and then to go beyond Darkecha. We've done this so many times, but it's always good to do Chazara and in a different way. Okay, so you remember the famous Rav Morgenstern Torah in Yama Chachma, where he says, when you feel a feeling of mirirut, which is the hargasha, the feeling of being far from the light of Hashem's face, where you feel this, you're in a place of hester panim, right? Which means when you're in a place of katnut, when you're not feeling Hashem's light, Hashem's love, when you're not feeling connected to Hashem. This is our famous line. We've said it so many times, but he connects it to the image of Sukkah, and that's why I'm repeating it again. He says, what we need to do is la'alot, to take a step up, lehitbonen, to contemplate, to meditate, lechazek nafsho, and to strengthen ourselves with true emunah. This is our famous sentence, Hashem be'emet ito imo ve'etzlo, right? That Hashem is really, really with me, even though might not be feeling it so much now. And this is the aspect of Yesh Hashem b'kirbeinu, that Hashem is inside of us, is with us. And even though you feel this feeling of distance, you should strengthen yourself with real emunah, that even in the darkness, Hashem is there. And there ain't gavul, there's no boundaries to Hashem's rachamim and Hashem's love for us, his holy people. And then he says, you have to search for it with all your heart and soul. Every place where you are, you have to search for and find this emunah, which is the revelation of godliness. And this aspect is called Sukkot. So the Sukkah is the aspect of a mechitza of emunah, like going into a sukkah, and it's also physical sukkah, and also the sukkah of our imagination, right? Imagine that we're surrounded with a sukkah of peace, because sukkah is a mechitza. It's like a mechitza. It's a protection of emunah that surrounds a person on all sides. It also has the aspect of being in the ananei kavod that surrounded us in the desert, and it protected us from all the, things in the desert. Okay, so that's Rav Morgenstern. Now I'm going to go beyond Darkecha. And last week we connected the image this sentence, Ufrosh aleinu sukkot shlomecha, that Hashem spreads over us a sukkah of peace. So we say it every night in Mariv, and every night in Kriyat Shema al Mitah, that we ask that Hashem spreads His sukkah of peace around us. And as I suggested last week, and I'll repeat again this week, it's a very powerful thing to do before you go to sleep, especially if you have sleep problems. And I've been trying to do it like at night. Just imagine that Hashem is surrounding me. I'm just like surrounded with Hashem's light, Hashem's protection. Going to sleep in a sukkah of peace. So we can talk more about the importance of going to sleep and how important it is for reprogramming the subconscious brain. But we're going to leave that for another time. But I want to go now, B'yam Darkecha, who is a student of Rav Morgenstern. So he said that the inyan of Sukkah, first of all, is Shmiran Haganah. It's like protection, right? How like a physical sukkah protects us from the heat of the sun, and the schach, which is connected to the word sukkah, same shoresh, only lets in as much light as we're able to receive. And it also protects us from, can you imagine being in our sukkah if we didn't have schach? We wouldn't be able to sit there most of the day. Okay, and also as the image of Shmiran Haganah, and it's protecting us from mazikim and bayot. So the mazikim, if you think of it, when we were in the desert, the ananei kavod protected us from harmful things and also from problems. So our sukkah is a protection, number one. Number two, but the Pnimiyut, the inside of the inside of the inside of Sukkah comes from the language of Tipi'ah, V'ri'ah. Tipi'ah, this word Tipi'ah, first of all, I have to tell you that the word Sukkah is a physical Sukkah. I'm reading you from the dictionary. I have an amazing dictionary that the root, Chacha, also has to do with Ra'ah. Ra'ah, seeing, Hibit, of looking, the inner meaning of tsafa, of watching, lihistakel, and lihistakel, of looking. So the pnimiyut of being in our sukkah of peace is this place where we're looking and we're watching. And in meditation, what are we looking at? What are we watching? Is the light. And he brings down in B'yam Darkecha, on Shabbat, we have a really special light. So the light of Shabbat, he says, has a behirut, has a clarity. So I want you all next Shabbat, we maybe even do it in meditation. Next Shabbat, as a meditation, imagine that you are in a sukkah of peace, put light all around you, and look at the light. So I was learning with my daughter, Sudat Shlishit time, where he was talking about it's the highest time, Sudat Shlishit, and we were looking out at the light, and I was saying to her, just look at the light. It doesn't look like this during the week. It does have a special clarity to it. So I invite you all on Shabbat to look at that behirut, the clarity of the light. And we're going to also look at it in meditation, because we also have an aspect of Shabbat in every day. A Talmud Chacham is called Shabbat because he is in that place of connection to the light. Okay, so he also brings down, it's looking with this clarity of godliness that gets revealed on Shabbat. Okay. Okay, the or. Okay, so now the thing is, this is the next step. When you see this light, now we're going to meditate on light. We're going to do today meditations on light and breathing light. That's going to be our focus of our meditation. But he also says that when we're looking at this light, when we're gazing at the light that surrounds us, the light of the or Ein Sof, the light of the Shekhinah that's surrounding us, that what it does is it brings us to a place of hishtokakut. Like when you see this light, I want more. I want more of it. Hashem, please give me more of it. So when we're looking, the next state is hishtokakut. We're going to do this in our meditation. Looking and hishtokakut, like we want more. Don't we all want more? We want more light. And he brings up from Ashrei, in Ashrei, we say, Enei chol alav yitzapu. Our eyes are like looking, and tzipiyah is also expecting and also hoping. So by seeing the light, it brings us to a place of wanting and hoping and expecting and yearning for, right? When we go to Olam Haba, one of the questions we're going to be asked, Hipita v'yeshu'ah, were you wanting it? Were you yearning for it? Were you expecting it? Like the more that we want it, the more we can pull it down. Okay, so next stage. I think this is so interesting. This hishtokakut, this yearning and this wanting brings chibur, brings connection. And he talks about in the next section, chibur and connection is shlemut. And it's called Sukkot Shalom because shalom is shlemut. Like when we're in a place of chibur and connection to the light, to Hashem, to our soul, we're in a place of shalom. And that's one of the reasons we say, Ufrosh Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, that the place of tzipiyah brings us to a place of chibur and connection, which brings shlemut and shalom.
Meira,
Yeah.
do you think that transfers over to any prayer, any hishtokakut,
Any prayer.
any yearning, any that brings us to chibur?
Any yearning brings us to chibur, brings us to connection, brings us to shalom, brings us to shlemut.
Wow. Wow.
Mamash. Okay. So and then he says one more thing, which is so interesting. Sukkah is the same shoresh as Yiskeh, and Yiskeh is another name for Sarah Imenu. If you Iska. If you look at, I think Bereshit 11:29, I think that's it. You'll see that Rashi says there that Yiska is the name for Sarah Imenu, and he says Yiska has to do with prophecy. It's like that she was a prophetess, and she was enveloped with Ruach HaKodesh. So Sukkah also has to do with Ruach HaKodesh. You know, of course, on Sukkot, it's all connected to Ruach HaKodesh, right? Simcha Beta Shoei, that we're pulling down. But just this image of being in a Sukkah of Shalom is really being in a place where we are wanting to and yearning that to bring down Ruach HaKodesh. And if you remember, our prayer with Sarah Yehudit for Purim was, what do you really, really, really want? And one of the prayers was Ruach HaKodesh, that we really want for each one of us to be in a place of Ruach HaKodesh, which we have, by the way, inherited from our Ima, Sarah Imenu. It's in our souls because we're her children. Okay, this is part one of our, and we're going to do a meditation on being in a sukkah. So I find myself at times when I don't feel the light of Hashem, where I feel this distance from Hashem, I do the stop meditation. And I just surround myself with light, put myself in a sukkah of shalom and see the light. And what I've been trying to see and look at is the behirut, the clarity. There's a clarity in the light. Like if you look long enough and deeply enough, it brings you to a place of seeing, of of watching, of yearning, and then of this place of hishtakaku, like Hashem, I want to feel your light more. And then this brings you to a place of chibur and connection. Okay, any questions, comments?
I was, you know, in the Rabbanim, the Gedolim, like when this is Rav Morgenstern that you're teaching from. So when he's speaking, I mean, I'll say, I'm learning the Bilvavi, and he brings an example of that the Chafetz Chaim said that when he's feeling, I don't know, far or lacking in Amuna, so he reads Sefer Bereshit. The Bilvavi is bringing that as a proof of having to meet Chazek Esh Borei Leolam. But he's bringing the Chafetz Chaim, who is saying, when I feel lacking in Amuna, or when I'm not fully aware. So I think there's something kind of reassuring or reaffirming that, and my sense also, Rav Morgenstern, he's not teaching his students, when you feel far, remind yourself, Hashem iti etzli. He's saying for himself, like Hashem's nistar to all of us, and what it at times. And some people have more of a sense of Hashem's palpable presence and more often. But what it kind of what it did for me is like, oh yeah, the Hashem's palpable presence. I touch in on that. You know, there's time. When do I feel that? And that is just something about the truth that that's there. And sometimes it's nistar, and I need to yearn for it. But it's not like that, not for me, or some big far away, or the greatest tzaddikim also feel far away. It doesn't mean that it's not available to you.
Right, and we have so many different techniques of how to connect, like speaking to Hashem, learning Torah, praying, dancing, music. But I'm just saying that as a meditation group, it's a very powerful meditation to put yourself in the Sukkah of Peace. Put yourself in the Sukkah of Peace, and also, you know, before you go to sleep at night, to put yourself in a Sukkah of Peace. Okay, so we're going to do this as a meditation, but now I want to bring into it, because we're going to do it all together, two different breathing techniques, which are both connected to each other. One is from Rav Morgenstern, one is from Rav Daniel Katz. So I don't know if any of you watched Rav Daniel Katz's Shavuos preparation. Yeah, okay. So in it, he has a breathing technique, which basically is, and we're going to do it, which basically is, he brings down in the name of the Baal Shem Tov, that we all know that we're surrounded by light, infinite light above us. And basically what he says as a breathing technique is to breathe the light into the mochin, like bring it from down into our Chabad, then bring it down into our heart, then bring it down into the kaved, into the lower torso, and hold it for as long as you can. And then when you exhale, let go of any tension in your body, what did he say? Anything you don't want, any negativity, just really let it go. So I'm going to say again what it is, and then I'm going to tell you the same same but different from Rav Morgenstern. So this inyan of holding breath, like when I was in advanced yoga classes, we did a lot of holding breath, but in a very different way. Like we did very, very fast breathing, and then we held the breath. Then Joe Dispenza, if any of you are, most of you are probably familiar with him. He does a very powerful breathing exercise where he's actually bringing the breath up from the lower burner to the middle burner, all the way up, out into infinity, holding it for as long as you can and releasing it. So I'm just saying that is another way of doing it. And now I want to share with you what Rav Morgenstern says. We've done this before. So Rav Morgenstern has also a breathing exercise. So I found this was very interesting because it's very similar to Rav Daniel Katz, where he says Rav Daniel Katz says to bring the light down, down, hold it, and then release it. Rav Morgenstern says, inhale it through your nostrils. By the way, he says it's very, very powerful. His first step, this is in Derech HaYichud. His first step is Hakika, that whatever you're meditating on, like we're going to be meditating on light, that we want to engrave our whole being with light. And that is a yichud. So we're bringing it into, every part of our body. So when you think of how we start the form council, right? That we're breathing and bringing stillness down, right, into every part of our body, that's a form of hakika, of engraving every part of our body with stillness. But if your focus is light, you can engrave, as you bring it down, every part of your body with light, hakika. And then Rav Morgenstern says, it's really powerful if you take that image of whatever you're meditating on. Now I'm using light. We could also do it with Shem Hashem, which we'll do on the meditation retreat. Bezrat Hashem that we're going to have soon in Ashkelon. We'll be in touch, but we're hoping maybe for some time in the middle of July, Bezrat Hashem. But so Rav Morgenstern says, breathe it in through your nostrils, bring it to your mochin, and then he says, bring it down to your heart, to your kaved, and hold it. So it's the same principle of filling up upper burner, middle burner, and lower burner with the air, with the avir. And he has a whole description what the avir is, but that will leave for another time because he talks about the avir, the air of being the chitzoniut of chachma. It's a little Kabbalistic, so we're not going to do that right now, maybe on the meditation retreat. But the principle in both Rav Morgenstern and Rav Daniel Katz is the concept of bringing light into the mochin, into the leiv, and into the kaved, and holding it. Although Rav Morgenstern does not talk about releasing it. He's just, and he says, hold it until you can and then release it. I really like the Rav Daniel Katz, where he says, when you release it, like, just let it go. Like, let all the garbage go. Let all your problems go. Let all your worries go. Okay. So with all that said, what I would like to do is Rav Daniel Katz's breathing. And we're going to start that way. No, we're going to start by being.
Can I say something about what you just said?
Yeah, please.
So, we know that Kavanah really adds a whole other dimension. So, when I let go, I try to remember, like, I'm giving it over to Hashem and letting him take that energy and transform it. So like it's like a giving over to Hashem. I don't, and he'll take it, he'll transform it, he'll use it, the negativity, whatever I don't need. And
Exactly.
Something about surrendering it to Hashem where, I don't know, like I feel like that deepens my connection with Hashem. Like, it's funny, it's a different kind of connection on the inhale where he's breathing me. And then he's also taking what I don't need, because that's actually how we breathe. We take in what we need and we let go of what we don't need.
Right. Exactly.
And you don't have to even be conscious about what that is. Like, we don't know that we're taking in oxygen and letting go of carbon dioxide. Hashem has designed us that way, but it just adds another dimension.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chaya Sarah, because that's actually what Rav Daniel Katz says. Return it back to source. So Chaya Sarah is bringing up a really good point. whatever you're exhaling. And the thing is that I would like just start just like by letting go any tension in your body, like just letting go of like any pain in your neck or your shoulder or whatever. And then, you know, sometimes you know what you want to let go of. And sometimes you're just letting go. But the thing is, you're returning it to source. You're giving it back up to Hashem, and he's going to take care of it. Okay.
I
So,
would also add that if you have physical pain, is to breathe it into the part of the body that's hurting, and when your heart is hurting, to breathe it into your heart. You know, like Hashem, please heal me. You know, please let me feel your love. You know, whatever the prayer is, like, you know, as we can package feel it.
right. So that's another aspect, that when we're doing the breathing, we could, you know, breathe it into the light and love into our minds, that our thoughts should be pure, right? And then breathing it into our hearts, that we should, you know, feel more light and love in our hearts. And then the whole, you know, our whole emotional lower burner, right? Just to bring love and light. So it's true that you can always add, you know, a kavana into, and that I think is really connected to what Rav Morgenstern says, that, you know, the first step of meditation is chakika, which is engraving yourself with the object of your meditation, which is light. And we know that the light of Hashem, or Kadosh Baruch Hu, is ahava, right? It's the light of love. So as we're bringing light, we can also bring love into these parts of our body. Okay, anyone else want to add anything before we go on? Okay, next week we're going to move on to Devekut, but I just really, you know, this Sukkah of Peace is very powerful. So let's go into a Sukkah of Peace. So I invite you all now to close your eyes and just feel your body for one moment. Like, how is my body feeling? Just take a moment and just feel how you're supported by the chair that you're sitting on. And if everyone could just please mute themselves 1 minute. Okay. Just take a couple of slow, deep breaths. Just slowly. What am I feeling? What is my body feeling like? And just as you exhale, just imagine that you're like letting go of any tension, like gray smoke. Just let it go. And just inhale. Inhale Or Chadash into all the cells of your body. And again, just feel if there's any tension anywhere. Exhale, just let it go, like gray smoke. And inhale Or Chadash, new light. The light of love and the light of healing. The light of Hashem. And one more time. Exhale, letting go of any tension in your body. Let it go like gray smoke. And inhale Or Chadash, new light, healing light into every cell of your body. And just imagine now how your body is a kli. Your body is a vessel, and your body is an instrument to receive the light of the divine presence, which is above your head. And just imagine this light of Hashem's Shekhinah, Hashem's presence, which is above your head. And just imagine how this light is spreading. And the Baal Shem Tov says, like half the orb of heaven, just like a sukkah of peace that is spreading all around you. So just imagine all around you light, or Pashut Ein Sofi, from the top of your head and all around you, on all sides of your body, above, below, before you, behind you, that your whole body, your whole being is surrounded by a sukkah of light and of peace all around you. Just take a moment to look at, to gaze at, to watch this light, the Or HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the light of love, the light of Hashem's presence. It's also a light of healing. It's a light of light. It's a light of protection. It's a light of Ruach HaKodesh. Just look at the light, watch the light. And look at the clarity. We're looking for the clarity, for the bihirut, for the clarity and the gentleness and the stillness. And light is something that we can swim in, bask in, absorb. Light is a kind of food. So just take a moment and look at this light. And now let's try to feel the light. What does it feel like? Imagine what it would feel like if you could really feel it. Let this light feel like the Baal Shem Tov says this is a light of oneg, of pleasure. And what would it feel like if you could feel the pleasure in the light? And the more that we look and the more that we see, then the more that we're yearning. We're yearning for more light. And this brings us a feeling of shlemut and of shalom. So let's just take a moment and just be in our sukkah of shalom. Feel how you are hidden, ganuz, hidden. You are all light, every part of you, every part of your being is light. And every part of your being is hidden in this light. This is the light of emunah. This is the light of Hashem iti imi ve'etzli. This is the light of peace. This is the light of connection. we're just going to stop and meditate now, just for 5 minutes. We're going to meditate on light. Meditation on light is a yichud. Just as meditation on Shem Hashem is a yichud. So just for 5 minutes, we're going to meditate on the clarity. Can you see the clarity? Can you feel the clarity? The peacefulness in this protected space. Just to feel the light of love, Hashem's love in every cell of our being. To feel the light of the Or Pashut, Ein Sofi, pure endless light. Just feel how wide and expanded is your consciousness and your aura. All the while you feel surrounded by half the orb of heaven, which is a Sukkah of Peace. A Sukkah of light. What does it feel to feel this behirut, this lightness, this peacefulness, this feeling of clarity in every cell of your body? We are absorbing light. Our bodies need food. Our bodies need light. Light is food. And so we're absorbing this light into every cell of our body, which is healing our bodies, healing our hearts, healing our minds, purifying our kli. By meditating on light, we're purifying our kli to receive more light. Light is consciousness, to receive Ruach HaKodesh. So just be very quiet in the light for another minute or two. Seeing with the eyes of your sechel and hearing with the ears of your heart. notice anywhere that your mind wanders to. Does this thought have any message for you? Or is it something that you want to just see and release and bring back your consciousness to the light that's being engraved in every part of your being, every cell of your being, all the spaces? The chevle, the garma, the breath of your bones is being filled with the light of love and the light of clarity and the love of Hashem. So breathe out slowly next one time. Rav Morgenstern says that our next step in connection is through the breath. And we're going to do Rav Daniel Katz's meditation on breath. So first of all, again, just imagine infinite light, or pashut, Ein Sofi, that is above your head. And what we're going to be doing is such a deep inhale of inhaling the light into your mochin, then bringing the light into your heart, and then bringing it down into your kaved, moach lev kaved melech, where you become a melech over your being. So we're going to do it. We're going to inhale, 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 bring the breath down, hold it for as long as you can. And then when you release it, release your breath back up to source. You can release it through your mouth. You can release it with sound. Just really release it. So we're going to do 5 minutes of these really deep breathing light and love of Hashem into our mochin, into our heart, into our kaved, and just exhaling and releasing it. Okay, maybe let's do 3 minutes. We're going to do 3 minutes of deep breathing. You just breathe out slowly one time, bring your breath back to normal. We're going to do it again. So when I used to do yoga breathing, we used to hear the breath as it comes in. So you can add the element of hearing it as you come in. And I'd like to also suggest that we all inhale ah, ha, va. And so that the ah is in the head, the ha is in the heart, and the va is in the lower burner. So we're inhaling ah, ha, va, which is Or HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? Ahava is the letters of Or HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we're going to do it again for 2 or 3 minutes, inhaling Ahava. Hold it really for as long as you can until you feel that you just can't hold it anymore, and then let it go. Okay, let's go. Okay, so let's just bring your breath back to normal. And we're just going to meditate now for 7 minutes in our Sukkah of Peace. Just feel how your body's feeling now after we did this deep breathing, how peaceful. Just meditate on the light of love, the Or HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're going to meditate on Or HaKadosh Baruch Hu for 7 minutes. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו במהרה לאורו. So let's just send some Or Hadash to the hostages. They so need Or Hadash. Let's just take a moment and send Or Hadash. We know some of their faces. Let's just send them Or Hadash. And pray to Hashem to release them right away. ASAP, take a deep breath. Let's send Or Hadash to our soldiers. We all know a soldier. Let's send a soldier Or Hadash. I forget which Rebbe said to write Yud K Vav K on their forehead. Or Hadash to our soldiers. And let's send Or Hadash to all the soldiers that are wounded, a light of healing. To all the soldiers, to anyone who needs healing. Send Or Hadash to anyone who needs healing, especially to our soldiers. And just end with a prayer. Or Chadash al Tzion Ta'ir, that Hashem, may Hashem shine. Or Chadash upon Tzion, upon the Temple Mount. And may we be Zoche soon to see the third Beit HaMikdash coming down from heaven in fire. So just breathe out slowly one time. Feel how your body's supported by the chair that you're sitting on. And if you want, just gently open and close your hands, wiggle your toes. Oh, then when you're ready, open your eyes. And just be ready today to be a Kli for Hashem's light, a Kli for Hashem's love. Does anyone want to share anything, Leah?
It was very beautiful. The only thing that is a bit jarring for me, and I think I put it out in my Shabbos thing, is light and clarity are not congruent at the moment for me. I looked for the clarity in the light, in the air, in the water, after I had a swim, and it's not there, the clarity. So it's elusive and it's far away, but concentrating on the life is very, very empowering and very beautiful, and is something that I can absorb. But the clarity is not quite there.
Amen. I have two ideas for you. One is, if you can go early morning, just as the light is rising, there's the infrared, and there is, at that time of day, there is a certain clarity in that light. So
Okay.
also at sunset, but try it early in the morning, first morning light, just to see that clarity. There's a certain clarity.
Beautiful.
And also, I have to tell everybody, I'm listening to this podcast. I think maybe I'll put it on our group, by this woman who's like a PhD scientist who's been studying like the microbiome for years. And what she's discovering is that people are not exposed to light enough, that light actually is a healing agent in our lives, especially early morning light. Okay, Leah, my other idea for you, on Shabbat. On Shabbat, there is a difference in the clarity of the light. So do a meditation on Shabbat. I don't know, early morning. Sudat Shlishit is an amazing time. And you could meditate with your eyes open and look at the clarity in the light of Shabbat. And then next
Beautiful.
week, tell us if you saw any clarity in the light.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else want to share anything?
I was just noticing the difference between when I'm trying to imagine the light or like imagining it, and then just landing in the light's here. Like I don't have to imagine it. It was like a switch that I was much able to receive it in a very different way. When I kind of let go at efforting and just,
Absolutely.
yeah, the
It's
truth of that it's here.
It's a
Yeah.
really good point of just allowing oneself to be in the light and just to receive it is really, but sometimes people have hard time seeing or feeling, and then it's good to imagine that you could see and feel. But a higher level, I think, is just receive it, just receive the light and yearn for it and want more and
Yeah.
more. We want more and more.
Yeah, thank you. It
Mayra,
was very beautiful.
Mayra, that was really amazing. I think that doing the breath work really made a difference
I know.
because it just brought the whole nervous system down
The
and
breath.
really added a lot to the
I know the
meditation.
breath.
Tremendous. Yeah.
I think
And it
maybe
was
we'll go
beautiful.
back.
Just the way that you started with the guided meditation and then the breath work. It was just the flow was amazing. Just yeah, it was beautiful.
Baruch
Thank
Hashem. It's, you know what it is? It's like, it's just really being open to, oh, Dina. Dina, I'm glad you joined us. I hope it was good for you. We have a guest, an anonymous guest. Unless you want to say hello, you don't have to. It's fine. Okay. So, I wish everybody mamash a good week. And just remember that light, to sit in the light, early morning light, to consciously inhale, ingest, absorb light is healing to our body. It's a form of healing that is going to be more and more talked about, I think, now as a form of healing. So keep breathing, hoping, right?
Thank you.
Praying. Bye, everyone. Lots of
Thank
love.
you very much.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.